Hey everybody, Tommy Dunk House. Drift van needs a motor. We got one. Yeah, we did. Right, let's have a talk about engines now. I had a few different ideas of what I wanted to jam in the van. Starts off normally K70, you talk about 4AGs, getting hard to get. If you ever drifted a 4AG, you spend more time smashing the clutch than you do anything else. And if you're into it, you're into it. I'm not. Beams is an option. I've already got one of them. I've already got a 4AG in another car. Beams are great. Still going to cost you a bit of coin. So the mind starts to boggle and starts to think, okay, what different options have we got? There's a few things that are really important to me. I want things to be easy. I like it when life is easy. Life is hard enough as it is. I don't need to make it any harder. Building drift cars from scratch is hard enough. I want things that are easy. Easy to get parts for. If it breaks, easy to fix, easy. All right? Another thing I want, cheap. I want cheap. I'm trying to build 3 cars at the moment. I can't pour all my cash straight into a drift car. So I want things as cheap as possible. And it needs to have good enough power. Now, I'm not massive power hungry. I don't need 500 kilowatts at each single wheel. I've grown up driving little Corollas with not a lot of power, and I actually quite enjoy that, having the restriction of not needing loads of power, but I wanted enough that we can rip a skid pretty easy. So that's sort of the things that I was looking for. And yeah, lots of different options on that, on where we can go. Now, there is a motor, it's not very popular, that hits all 3 of these targets. I started to go down that route, and then another friend suggested, why don't you put a 2GR in? And I started looking into 2GRs. So there is a couple of drift cars around that are running it. It's a Toyota motor, it's a V6, it's a 3.5 litre. It's a quad overhead cam, if you want to get technical. Being a V, it's twin overhead cam on each bank. And it runs variable valve timing on both banks. So they make good power, they're great engines, and my mate was getting them cheap. You need to put a W box behind them because they're normally front wheel drive. So to turn it rear wheel drive, you need to put a W box. I have a spare W box, so I started looking into 2GRs. I was getting quite excited because I thought that would be pretty interesting motor to stick in the van. It'd be a heap of fun. They ain't cheap no more. I was ringing wreckers, they want 2.5 grand, 3.5 grand for engines, and that's in front wheel drive configuration. That's not rear wheel drive, so then I'd need to clutches, maybe even a standalone ECU, and it's just too much money for what I want to spend on this van. So I went back to the original motor. Now, a lot of people won't be happy about this. I'm putting a Mang Mang Ecotec Holden V6 in it.
Oh, hi. Thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
It's 3.8 litres. It has push rods. Push rods. It has push rods. It has 1 cam. They don't rev. They sound terrible. But easy to get. The motors are easy to get. Parts are even easier to get. Everyone just stocks parts for these because every second car here in Adelaide's a Commodore. Cheap, unbelievably cheap to get these bits and pieces. And power-wise, I'm probably going to have like 110 kilowatts at the wheels. Maybe 120 on a good day. I'm running 14-inch tyres in a fairly lightweight Corolla. So the Ecotec hits all 3 of these. I did buy an Ecotec. In fact, I bought an entire running car. So I've got everything that I need. It turns, it starts, it runs, has a battery, the radiator's fine. I'm going to try and retrofit the fuel tank into the Corolla if I can. I've got to pull it out and have a look if that's doable or not. But I did. I bought a Commodore, complete running Commodore, had a bit of a punch in the nose like most Commodore owners have probably had at some stage. And we're going to pull it all out and jam it into the drift van. So that's what I ended up with. It hit my targets. It's probably not going to sound great. A lot of people probably turn their nose up about having a 3.8 in, but it's cheap. It's easy, makes more power than a lot of other options that I had. So 2GR would have been cool, and who knows, later on down the track we might still do that later on. But for now, we're going the Ecotec. So I got the car out the back. I'll take you out there. We'll have a look.
And it went like.
Here she is in all her glory, VT Commodore. As you can see, had a bit of a bingle. Someone pulled out in front of them, smashed the front end in. Being an early 2000s car with a fair few Ks on the clock, it's just not feasible to fix it and put it back on the road. So got that one off Facebook Marketplace, $450. I didn't stutter an entire running car for $450. So it's an engine, that's my fuel tank, it's the whole lot. I'll put the radiator in, the battery's still in it, I'll use all the wiring, I'll use the computer. So you can't argue with that, really. $450. Anyway, so we'll have a look around, see what it's all about. Good old smash in the front, which is why this car was up for sale, but it still drives. It's a VT, I think. It's even an S-Pack. Oh, mate, look at all that glory. Glorious Commodore S, mate. Series 2. Why would you want a turbo when you can have a Commodore S Series, Series 2 VT? Oh, baby. So yeah, it's in pretty reasonable condition, really. And there's the oh, look at that, central locking, air conditioning. Well, what do you want for a car? Oh yeah, look at this. Oh, blue seats. Oh mate, blue seats. Oh, blue door cards. Wow. Wow, look at that. All right, let's see how this goes. All turns on. Oh, we don't want the radio. That can go off. Can't afford not to, mate. Can't afford not to. So there you go. Ecotec in the VT Commodore. So the nephews are going to be real busy with this one because we're going to strip a whole heap down. There we have it. You want to look at the engine? Let's have a look at the engine. There you go, Ecotec. People call them mang motors because when you sit them on the limiter, they go mang. It sounds horrible. But there you go. We're going to jam all that into the Corolla.
It'll be fine.
Listen,
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
Encouraging him to put Ecotec. Gaz, put Ecotec in your Altezza, but he won't. He's putting some silly 1J with some stupid snail thing on the side. So I have to carry the Ecotec flag. So I'm keeping an eye out on good deals. Didn't need to buy anything straight away, but a few months ago I did get a manual conversion for an Ecotec because it was $500 with every nut and bolt and every piece that I needed. So that's been sitting under the shelf for quite a while. So we've got clutch, flywheel, the ECU's different. I don't know a lot about the Commodores, but apparently this is different. Manual PCM, so you need that to run it. The gearbox itself, the extra wiring loom, the starter motor, the pedals, the whole lot to convert a Commodore to manual. So that was $500 with a lot of that. So I got out an entire running 3.8 litre V6 and a manual conversion for $950. So I'm pretty happy with that. I think jammed in the little tiny Corolla should be a bit of a laugh. So cheap and easy to get. If I bang a motor, I won't be repairing them. I'll just go grab another one. You can grab them for like $200-300. Maybe another entire car for under $500 like we did last time. So that's something that I think is important with drifting. That stuff's cheap and easy to get. There's no point running obscure parts. It needs to be fun, and a big part of fun drifting for myself is reliable cars. So it's another thing. Like I actually didn't want a turbo. I'm not the biggest fan of turbos. Most of the time when we're drifting with mates and we're having issues with cars, it's generally turbo related. So I like naturally aspirated engines, and obviously if you want a bit of power, you normally have to go bigger, so or loads and loads of revs. So in this case, I've got 3.8 litres. Sure, it's only going to be 110 kilowatts, but it's going to be a truckload of torque. And in such a small little car, it's going to be fun, and I don't have turbos to worry about, and extra fueling that they need, so bigger fuel systems, and they make more power, so you start busting gearboxes and all those sorts of things. So I'm sticking with a small tyre, small 14-inch tyre, with just a dead stock V6, and we're just going to go out and have a heap of fun, use less fuel, all those sorts of things. So it's not everyone's cup of tea, but that's what I enjoy, so that's why I'm building this one. So I think it'll be good too. I mean, it's going to be plenty of motor for the nephews. They're only going to be 14 when they're driving this thing, and big 3.8 litre. That's going to be more engine than they should probably be driving, to be honest. So yeah, there you go. There's the engine. There's the driveline, mostly sorted, and we're going to spend the next few months getting that into the car itself. So stick around and watch that if that's what you're into. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you want to follow Second Stage and catch up with all the stuff that's getting fabricated in the workshop, check out Facebook Second Stage Fabrication. Also over on Instagram under Second Stage 86. Send me a snap if you want to have a chat under Second Stage 86, and if you're over on TikTok, look up Second Stage over there. Got up loads of videos, having lots of fun on TikTok. Thanks for following. All the links will be in the description. Have a great day.